Well, Tim, a little bit of a down note to start this week. Been a rough couple weeks in the Back to the Future world.
Yeah.
Lost a friend of the show. Lost my pup last week. 12 years. It's been tough.
That's a rough little stretch.
It is. I know usually I would tease that or joke and turn into a twist, but this is real. This is real life. These things happen, and it just sucks.
Yeah, dark humor is not always appropriate.
No. So here's what I'm going to tell you guys. While we do this intro and while the music's rolling, you're going to pause the show, go give your loved one, your husband, your wife, your spouse, or your nearest Kobe White Prizm Silver, go give them a hug, tell them you love them. Don't let these days go by.
That's touching.
There's an Adam. Oh, it's a 101.
Someone call for a doctor?
Always entertaining, accidentally informative. We are bringing nostalgia and camaraderie to the hobby. That's Tim. I'm Chad. This is Back to the Future podcast. Tim, episode 9 of season 2. We have upcoming releases on this show, and we have some big ones. Tops, Transcendent. We have Panini Contenders Basketball and Panini Prizm Basketball.
Basketball.
There is a little bit basketball heavy. Last week, we were a little baseball heavy.
Got to mix it up a little bit again, right?
Yeah, we do. We can't come... You know, I've been telling you for years that we need to become a baseball-centric podcast, Tim. And you've always been, very, very much on the pushback of that. And so we're trying to find that balance now where you're really getting me to come back to neutral ground here.
Baseball is the original sports card, right?
I can't keep that up. Baseball is the worst. Manfred's an idiot. And I hate it. I'm trying, but I just can't do it.
Bring back Bud Selig.
Exactly. Well, Tim, before we get into these products, and we've got some exciting information to share with you guys on those, some more weekly updates for the week in our lives. Gosh, it feels like we were just recording last week's episode, but it's interesting how time goes by, and yet we still have some weekly updates.
I know. Amazing.
I'll go first. No mail days of note for me.
What? It's been a whole week. Come on.
I know. I think USPS has been a little slow this week. But, Tim, I've been thinking about the collection a little bit, and I don't know where this originated. It could have been when we were going back through our top 5 most valuable cards, to be honest.
You had hinted at that because you had mentioned that, you had a lot of cards in that like $400 to $700 range, and you were like,
Right. And I think that's been gnawing in the back of my mind.
For a couple of weeks now.
Tim, last week you texted me and you're like, hey man, during the show, I think we should be able to keep this conversation without as much interruption and banter. And I'm like, all right. I know I am the biggest culprit of that. And I have been for however many years we've been doing this.
No way, we both are. Yeah.
And you're just breaking me with these things. But I'm really wondering, Tim, I've just got that itch of maybe it's time to, depart with most of the Rudy Gobert, maybe a majority of the Donovan Mitchell lower end stuff, maybe some of the Von Miller, and I don't know, and just try to consolidate with a few more meaningful cards. I did it before. I did this over a year and a half ago with cards like less than $200. And I enjoyed that for a couple of years. I think I just have a hard time with just being stable and watching my cards and seeing what they do.
Why is that hard? You're the more patient of the two of us.
I still like to go chase something new, though. So that's been on the back of my mind. It's hard, though, because a lot of that collection, just as I think this out loud, and I kind of want your opinion, I think is where, why I'm stating this, is a lot of the cards that I have of those guys, they're rare cards. And I think if they go away, I'm not going to get them again. So that's where my hesitation is.
That's one of those collector debates, right? Because I feel like that's one of those rules is if you let go of a card that will be hard to reobtain if you ever change your mind or have regrets about it in the future, you shouldn't do it.
Well, I'm at this interesting spot now where that's what I've enjoyed collecting are the rare cards.
Yeah, you definitely made that shift in the last couple of years to,
And it works as long as there's a deep commitment to keep those. But I'm finding myself, I don't know that I'm pivoting. I'm exploring that possibility. But if you're going to use those cards to pivot into something else, then you really get into this dilemma that you don't want to sell those. And that becomes a bit of a barrier in that. So I've kind of backed myself into my own mental corner, so to speak.
Yeah, you did a little bit, but I think you're also getting clarity in the sense of, I think it is time to let go of those cards because that's okay to use that equity towards a card you truly enjoy again, right? I mean, those cards had their moment. You appreciate those moments. Yeah. They had a good run. It's okay to close that chapter and be like, okay, well, let's release you back to somebody who will appreciate you still while I chase a card that I will appreciate now again.
It's a good point. It's a good point. Maybe I'll take those cards with us to the National.
As trade equity?
Mm-hmm.
Or just equity, potentially?
Yeah.
I think you could find some people that would collect those, right? I mean, Donovan Mitchell, you're in the Midwest again. Rudy Gobert in the Midwest again, and the T-Wolves somehow have kind of salvaged their season. So you never know. Can you imagine saying what you're saying right now about Gobert and Mitchell 2 years ago, though?
Never.
Can't, right?
Danny Ainge, man.
That a-hole.
Danny Ainge did it.
I was talking to a patient today, and she works at the arena, Vivint Arena. She said that, I was seeing her for shin splints because she was on her feet for 3 back-to-back-to-back shifts for 14 hours during All-Star Weekend. And, man, she was like, I only have 3 more games to work through because the Jazz aren't making the playoffs.
She's not wrong.
She's not wrong. I was like, usually it's pretty easy for me to say, hey, go rest, but people did not be able to do it. But in her case, she was like, well, okay, I don't have anything broken, so I can push through this and, not worry about it.
Let me guess, at that moment, you pulled out your phone and showed her a clip of the 97-98 Chicago Bulls beating the Jazz in the finals. And then you pushed right on her shin splints with your thumb.
It just has
How does this feel?
I just put her in the grave that way. So yeah. Problem solved.
So, Tim, that's kind of been my dilemma over the past week. I don't think I'm going to act on it within the next week. Love to hear some listener input about this if you've been in a similar situation. But also keep in the back of your mind, maybe something goes down at the National because of this. And for all those people going to the National, we'd love to meet up with you there too, just to pivot off that a little bit.
That's true. You think you'll sell your cars before the National so that you have extra funds to go to the National with?
I don't know. So that is a common theme and a common play this time of year. I have done that in years past, and I hear of other people doing that as well.
Because it's the time now, right? You've got...
We're just a couple of months away, Tim.
2-3 months to really make that happen.
Right.
Yeah. That's coming up quick.
It is.
Oh, I'm getting excited. If there wasn't 5 million feet of snow in the mountains here.
Seriously.
It was 70 degrees this time last year. And we're sitting here at 30 with snow on the ground.
Just ridiculous.
Yeah. It's been a year.
What's going on in your life over the past week, Tim?
It's not football season, huh? When do optional team activities start, though?
That I don't know.
No, it's soon, I think, right? It's soon after opening day for baseball.
Seems like it. Feels like it.
Fields like it?
Huh?
No, that was bad. Should edit that one out.
I'm keeping it. No. I was going to edit it till you said that. Now I'm keeping it. And I'm probably going to replay it right now.
No, it's going to be a redemption story, though, because I picked up myself a Justin Fields card. We had this debate via text, right? I was going to poll our group chat, but I was like, I'm going to save it for our show. And I have been perusing 4 Justin Fields cards. I started at fairly simple optic hollows. Not the base, not Donruss base, but Donruss optic hollows because I like the refractor look. They're pretty subdued this year, which is kind of disappointing. You really have to glance at these photos and really have to catch them in the right light for them to really show as hollows. But So I've got a base and then the image variation. I spent $500, so $200 and $300 respectively for those cards. And I don't think I'll regret it. I mean, I think that's a pretty good sweet spot for picking up a rookie card. That's a PSA 10. And, I think his cards are at a fairly low price right now because, I mean, people are a little disappointed with how this last season went. I don't think a lot of that was his fault. This offseason, they're making a ton of push to make the team better. So next year, if he even performs a little bit, his cards are going to be worth hanging on to. And I haven't felt this way about a Bears quarterback since
Jim McMahon.
No, I think I'd say Eric Kramer or like Kyle Orton.
Are you serious? Was there actually hype behind those guys?
No, but I'm just saying, like, I remember liking Eric Kramer growing up. I was like, oh, okay, I think fondly of him. Kyle Orton had like a year or two where we were like, oh, okay, he's like a 300-yard game passer. Even Rex Grossman, was like, maybe? I don't know. We'll see. But anyway, the debate was to pick up those cards. I just kind of took that off the table because I just wanted those cards. But then next, I wanted a more like marquee or signature Justin Fields card. And so sticking in that like $1,000, $1,500 range for a premier card, that rules out the NTRPAs, which is fine. I actually don't like the look of them all that much for his year. I stumbled across the Prodigy variation of his NTRPA and thought about it for a little while. But the patch is nice. The auto is nice because it's on card and they're live. But the photo of him is like, it's just barely his head. So the card itself was like, eh. So I took those off the table. Thought about flawless patch autos for a little bit. But cost, probably a little much just in case he doesn't pan out because I got burned on Trubisky so hard. But, $1,000 purchase I can kind of live with. So that took me down the rabbit hole of a downtown, maybe the select color wheel. Thought about the color blast from Obsidian, which is cheaper than the color blast from Prizm. Those were the ideas. And then I stumbled across one single eBay listing that was not a picture of a card. It caught my eye for a reason because it was the only RPA redemption that I stumbled across during my eBay search from Immaculate. Not a true RPA, but his jumbo signature swatch patch auto, still out of 99. And if you look up some of the other photos for that same series, these patches are usually 2 or 3 color patches. The card's clean, large patch, clean auto of Justin Fields. So I talked the guy down from $1,000 to $850, and he accepted that offer.
There you go.
I think I'm happy with that, right? That seems like good value.
I think so.
A premier product, or one of the better products for football. Rookie patch auto out of 99, not the true one, but still a nice RPA. I think I can live with that if they actually redeem it. Or if I redeem it successfully.
Now, Tim, you had mentioned that you had seen some of these patches. Did you see his redeemed?
No.
Or other players?
No, his are not live. I was just looking at other players in that same series.
Is he notoriously not a signer?
He's signed a lot. I mean, I think the main gripe so far that I've seen is him not signing his Contenders cracked ice autos. I mean, which never makes sense because there's only 25 of those.
Yeah, that's weird.
It's always weird to me, right? His Prizm ones are all sticker, obviously, so that's not been an issue.
Right.
But he signed flawless. He signed, some of the nicer ones, including all his NT stuff. So, I'm hopeful that next in line would be his Immaculate stuff because that's the next best football product overall.
Yeah, you should be optimistic. And you know what? You and I talked about this, as you mentioned. The price that you were looking at on the downtown was just too high compared to comps. I know there was best offer, but still the starting price was way too high.
Yeah, unless I settled for like a raw or a PSA 9, which, I thought about for a little bit, but I was like, why not just swing for the fences a little bit?
And you still just don't know what the downtowns are numbered to?
No. Yeah, and that's the concern this year, like you hinted at, is that they overproduced them. If they're pullable from a retail product, it's like how rare really are they when there's still boxes of retail products sitting on the shelf? There's probably a lot of them.
I think you made an excellent decision. I think that you're going to love the card. And I think for your own sake, I love the fact that you don't have the card in hand because you can't sell it. So it's going to be perfect because hopefully that card will come back to you right around the time the season actually starts. And then you can be like kid on Christmas, getting the card all over again.
That would be cool. You know, if it comes back redeemed in time for the season and then the Bears like start off 4-0 or something in September. Whoa.
And Tim, I'm telling you, when we go out to the National, let's go find Bears training camp. Let's go.
Oh, man.
Let's go spend a day out there. Get you hyped for the season.
That wouldn't be the worst thing in the world.
No.
Right? Make me a believer instead of turning this into a junkie jinx.
You know, I told you this just via text. I was visiting a buddy from from medical school out in Missouri. And I was driving to like a conference. Somehow I'd paired those two things up. And I was driving through the middle of Missouri. There's nothing out there. On the side of the freeway, I see a banner that says, like, we welcome the Kansas City Chiefs to training camp.
Yeah.
So I'm like, what? So I pull over and I follow this little dirt road, and sure enough, that's where the Chiefs did their training camp. So I stopped and watched it for a day, and I hate the Chiefs. Like, I'm a Broncos fan.
Like, what the heck?
But even watching that, it was a ton of fun.
Is it? Yeah.
It absolutely was, and we should absolutely go do it.
Was Aiden there?
Chicago. Aiden was just a little twinkle in his daddy's eye at that point in time, I believe.
No, I just picture, you know, those little cardboard signs that say, like, you know, berries to the right, you know?
Oh, right. I know. I was trying to piece together where you got Aiden in Kansas City. He hustled me in Dallas, but I see where you're coming from.
I don't know. I just picture little kids watching training camp and how you'd be about the same height as them. So
see, that's the best thing about it. And that's why I like these things.
Yeah.
You know, I sneak my way right up front there to the autograph line. Players are signing for all the kids. Oh, yeah, sure, kid. Here you go. Like, bam, not a kid. I just got a sick autograph card. Suck it, kid.
Exactly. We'll have to try this at Bears camp.
I'll let you know how it goes.
No, but you know what kind of sucked about picking up this redemption is that, one, I have to wait for eBay authentication, but with the new change in how offers are accepted on eBay, you automatically pay for the card once the offer is accepted. So what I could not do was go over to pttfpodcast.com and click on the eBay affiliate link and earn ourselves a little bit of kickback from that purchase. But if the rest of you, you know, out there, just remember pttfpodcast.com. If you click on that affiliate link, a little bit of your purchase comes over to our show.
Best practice, do it first thing in the morning. Very first webpage that you visit, just go click on it. That way, if you happen to fall into an eBay purchase during the day, which I think we all have.
Yeah, we've all, made that purchase, that but click and check out.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Then it's already there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, when your kids accidentally overbid on a card and click checkout, that comes to us.
Don't worry, honey. We don't need to cancel this one. We hooking up the guys from the podcast.
Exactly. Yeah. See, going towards a good cause. But Chad, here we are talking about baseball again. We've got 2022-2023 Transcendent baseball coming out on March 31st. So that'll be after the release or before the release. This episode will release after the release of this product. But, you know, I think at this point, you should be able to look up some of these breaks on YouTube or, you know, maybe find Backyard Breaks $532 a spot break of a box of Topps Transcendent.
You lost me at the third point that you made, but I think I'm with you now.
Okay.
This point, that point, here point.
My point is that Topps Transcendent is now out as a baseball product, and every year this is a fairly interesting one to watch. I personally have never bought into a break or bought a box of this, but this year might be interesting because they did something slightly different with it, but instead of just the 50-card complete base set that's always included, there's now 55 autos total in the other box that's included in one of these big, gigantic boxes. So you get 55 autos, the 50-card base set, and also new is one Chrome pack with 4 cards in it. And then, of course, it includes the VIP party invite, which usually features some big baseball star in past years that has included Trout, Griffey, you know, so some pretty big names that they usually get and make it worthwhile. Some people just buy the VIP party ticket because a lot of the people that break these boxes or open these boxes for the other cards don't care specifically to go to the party, but they're out there. So that's one way to get value out of this. I think most people look over or just kind of glance over and move on from the 50 card complete Transcendent Icons base card set. Yeah, there's some image variations that you can get from that, but that's not the main draw. For this year, it might be the Transcendent Chrome packs. Like I mentioned, there's 4 cards in these packs. You have a chance to pull 3 red refractors out of 5, along with a guaranteed superfractor or a superfractor auto. These are a little gimmicky, right? Because they're manufacturing these superfractors specifically for this product and guaranteeing that you'll hit them. So it's like, is that novel or that special once you pull the superfractor? I don't know, but it's nice pulling a nice shiny superfractor, right? So, and then there's also, these 101s that are guaranteed in each box. They've got the Through the Years autos, 1958 Topps superfractor auto, the tribute for 1958 Topps. You've got Transcendent Icons, gold deco variation autos. You've got their patch autos. The really sweet bat knob autos. People are big fans of the nameplate patches, the booklets that they have in there. And then there's, the big, giant, oversized cut autos that are in these products that are usually one of the featured cards in these boxes. That was a lot of info, but, Topps Transcendent, they packaged this and display it really well. I've seen a couple breaks in years past, and, it's kind of fun buying into this with the remote chance of hitting that big giant 101 cut auto. We've seen things like Thomas Jefferson, Babe Ruth, the usual draws. I've seen presidential letters and little bits and pieces of historical relics like that. So, I don't know what you do with one of these jumbo autos, but they're kind of cool. I don't think you complain about hitting a big, giant historical cut auto.
What type of price are we talking for these?
A lot.
That was a long for a lot.
Yeah, I actually don't know the official price, so I apologize.
Tens of thousands,
It's 5 figures.
Okay.
Yeah.
A lot of very impressive stuff there. Guaranteed to get a 101.
Yeah. Yeah, so somebody in the break's guaranteed a 101, but everybody else might get a base card.
Ugh. Could you imagine buying in for 1,000 or 2?
Oh, here's a nice little image variation of Luis Robert.
Oh, gosh. An impressive product, though. I love anytime products like this come out and you can just see something massive that perhaps you will never see in any other product.
That's the thing, right? This is a very flashy product. What's its true role in the hobby itself? I don't know. But I fell for it. I'm a sucker. I bought a Transcendent card. I didn't buy into a break, but it came in the mail today.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Who do you think I got?
Ooh. I don't know who's on that 55 card checklist. Any White Sox on that checklist?
Usually it's going to be Mr. Frank Thomas.
I was just about to say, I bet Mr. Frank is on there. So Tim's got the package now that he's ripping open.
I was excited about this. So this, again, is not a paid advertisement, but Fanatics, on their website, I finally figured out what to do with the $575 worth of gift card, equity that I had from a Raz purchase, or Raz win.
Yes.
But friend of the show, Sholey, or Steve, Boston Steve, sent me this link originally, and I was like, no, that's way too much money for a Frank Thomas 101. So this was from Topps Transcendent, 2021 Topps Transcendent. A Frank Thomas 101, the Platinum 101 from that product. And it was listed at $499.99, which I thought was a little bit high for a Frank Thomas card. But randomly perusing this last week, they brought that price down unprompted to $375. And I was like, oh, that's a little bit more reasonable. I can pay for that purely in gift cards and then still have some left over. So this helps you appreciate these cards in person, I think, the heft to it, because they're framed in gold, gold, quote unquote, but it's a metal frame. And
That's the beauty of a card.
A Frank Thomas 101 from Transcendent. So somebody paid really a lot of money to get into that break, and I now own the card for less than what they probably paid to get into that break.
That is really cool. Hall of Fame 2014, it says. 101. That's a great-looking card, Tim.
Yeah. I'm happy with it.
Well done.
Yeah. Nice little Frank Thomas 101. I don't know. I think it was worth it. Seems like it was worth it.
Absolutely. Absolutely it was. I love the display that it comes in that Fanatics box. I love your dedication to the show.
Aw, thanks.
To the listener.
Yeah. That's a good card. It's pretty cool how heavy it is.
Well done, Tim.
Yeah.
Well, let's move along. We got 2 more to get to here before we wrap up the show as far as upcoming releases go. I guess before I do that, do you have anything left on Transcendent?
No, that's it. I mean, just have fun with watching these breaks. I mean, people are lighting money fire left and right, but, think about picking up those VIP party things. If one of our listeners of the show decides to go, we'd love to have you on the show and maybe have you talk about what that experience is like. If you know anybody who's gone to past party and would love to just talk about it, that'd be cool too. Because usually I see those go for about $4,000 to $6,000 a ticket, and that's a little outside of the show budget.
Yeah,
just a little outside.
We were cruising that Calm Sea, I think, on week 2. We'll have to see how much ad revenue we're getting there.
Yeah, we'll see.
Well, the second product we should talk about, let's go over to basketball and talk about 2023 Contenders Basketball, which is now coming out.
Okay, yeah. A
little bit different this year for the hobby box in terms of logistics. We're down from 12 packs per box down to 4.
That's it?
That's it.
Oh, my goodness. They're just really cutting down on this pack opening experience.
Price point just under $500.
Oh.
Seems a little reasonable, not when you look at it from a 4-pack per box standpoint.
Can you imagine walking into a local card shop and being like, can you get me a pack of that Contenders? Here's $125.
It's brutal. 2 autos, that remains the same.
Okay, that's something.
A lot of the parallels, or at least inserts, I should say, not parallels, remain the same.
Okay.
There are all new hobby exclusive season tickets, including rare premium edition versions. When you combine the variations, parallels, and inserts, they come about 10 per box. So you're going to get a lot of variance in what you're seeing card to card, which I kind of like.
That'll be fun though, right? Instead of just a bunch of the base Contenders cards that are like, shuffle. Okay, right. Where's the real hit?
And I do like that. I like that you're eliminating that because let's be honest, those Contenders base, they go in the garbage.
Oh, yeah, they turn into eBay filler.
Lottery ticket, Rookie of the Year contenders, Sweet Shots, Superstar die cuts, Ticket to the Hall. All of those inserts you'll find in hobby boxes. But the chase cards.
Okay, yeah, let's hit it.
On-card ticket autos.
Yeah.
I love the look of them this year, Tim.
Do you? Yeah.
The color, the background color looks really good. I mean, there's cracked ice. There's some that almost look like tie-dye, but they're not as intense of chaos of tie-dye.
Yeah.
The picture of the player is almost in its own frame within the card. And it's a photo of not just the player, which it has been in years past, but also their background of whatever that photo was. So if it's the stands or the basketball, and the way that it's framed out in the card, it really pops. And I think it really does look good.
Okay.
On
you
top
haven't
of that,
always been the biggest fan of Contenders.
I don't like Contenders traditionally.
What is going on? You've been liking baseball. You've been liking the look of Contenders.
I know it. Autographs are on card.
Okay. Yep.
I think they look great. You can also get bet autos. Some of those may be sticker. But overall, I think the product is a good one. And the first link that I pulled up actually had a link on there. It said, hobby first off the line boxes, like $4.99. I was like, I will go buy one of these for that price. And, of course, I click on the link, and they don't have that for that price.
No, of course not.
So I was a little excited. But I guess the only reason I bring that up is just to make the point that it caught my eye almost where I wanted to go buy one for that price point.
Ooh. Tickled your fancy a little bit.
Go take a look at these Contenders cards. I think they look great, and I think people are going to enjoy them.
Yeah, I mean, Contenders football, I've been watching some breaks of, and it looks good. The design looks good this year.
I think
I'll give them that. Yep.
Now, on the other standpoint, where design looks like absolute garbage, is 2023 Panini Prizm Basketball.
Oh, I know you just love Prizm.
Football looked awful this year, and the basketball is just stupid.
Just carrying on the same BS.
It is garbage.
Yeah.
It is absolute garbage. You get 2 sticker autos a box, 22 prisms.
Oh.
What are we doing, guys?
Oh, don't give Panini
What are we
their
doing?
money. Don't do
Why?
it, people. Not this year. Please don't.
How many shiny prism cards do we actually need? Let's take a little trip down memory lane here, get our DeLorean. Let's go back 2012. Give me a silver. Give me a gold. Football, give me the red. Okay, call it a day.
Yep. That's all you really want to chase, right?
That's it.
Give us the silvers, right? Like, that's good enough. We don't care about all these other colors.
$800 for the box. You get stupid inserts. Firework, prismatic.
Oh, the return value on firework inserts is so bad.
They just don't look good. I think the principle behind them is good, but the execution on the card does not
So
pop.
bad, yeah.
I put some very very elaborate words here when I was typing out our show notes. Tim, do you want to read that right next to the prismatic?
Yeah, firework and prismatic both. And the base is...
Took me a while to come up with that.
That's deep, man.
Thank you.
That's some quality content right there.
I've been known for my English. Base cards look awful. They're nothing to write home about. No one wants them.
Man, can you imagine if they just take Prism down to like no base cards and do like what Topps does with HTA and it's just the hits? Here's your pack with 2 sticker autos. And
awful.
Here's your 1 pink parallel. $800.
Yeah, seriously. Here's your silver prism of, I don't even know who. Horace Grant.
What's wrong with Horace Grant?
I didn't want to say Jeff Hornacek because I love the guy. I don't know. Him and his goggles.
All Horace Grant
Him and his goggles
fans out there.
How dare he?
Magic and Bulls. Jeez.
So
well,
Prism's awful. Contenders looks good. Transcendent.
Yeah.
I'm going to give you through the weekend, and I will fully expect that you would have razzed for an entire box or at least bought into a break. Just let me know when you're doing it so I can watch.
I'll certainly try.
Thank you.